Alright guys, video here looking at, and some people had some issues with this in class, and quite a few people wanted this captured and explained in detail. We've got a scatter plot here. We can tell it's a scatter plot because when we go to plot a line, okay, we can't go and join all those points up. So first thing we've got to do, the overall goal here with this is to create the equation that represents a line of best fit. So before we can even start looking at that, we do need to make sure that we are trying to plot our line of best fit. Now, mine won't be exact, it's on the iPad, but it will be pretty close. And yours, again, with a question like this, will be different. But it should look something like that, okay? Remember, as soon as that slope is changed a little bit, the equation will change. So if you're looking at the person beside you with questions like this while you're in class, don't expect it to be the same. Okay, first thing we want to do, we need two things. Okay, we're going to find out two things off this graph to draw, to come up with the equation. First thing we need is the gradient. Second thing we need is the y-intercept. I'm going to start with the gradient. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to pick 2 points on that line. Okay, 2 points on that line, but I want them to be, I want to work pretty smart here. So I'm going to pick this one here because it's nice and easy to read down to here and across out to 200 here on the y-axis. I'm going to go find another point that's just like that, and I found one up top here. Now, it's not going to matter which 2 points you pick because you've drawn a straight line. Your gradient is going to be the same either way. Now, if it helps to do this, by all means, go and do it. Okay, there's our rise and this is our run here. Okay, so our rise goes from 200 up to 340, so that's a difference of 140. Looking at the crime rate per 1,000 people, we want to divide that by our run. Now our run goes from here across to here, so between, we've got 3,500 to 5,500, so we've got a difference there in our run of 2,000. Okay, now in terms of simplifying this, chuck it in as a fraction on your calculator and we'll get down to 7 out of 100, and because that's such a nice neat number, I'm okay if you write as 0.07. It's when we have that answer as a recurring or non-terminating decimal that we like to keep it as a fraction, but 0.07 is fine. So there's our first element done. Okay, that's this part here. We then want to go and try and find our y-intercept. Okay, now to find our y-intercept, we need to come up with the coordinates for one of our points that we've done here. Previously, you would have looked at a table of values when we had that nice linear line. Here we have to actually go and find our coordinates. So I'm going to use the top one up here, and I'm going to go and call this one, we're across at 5,500 on the x, and we are up to 340 on the y. Okay, now as I said, that's my x, that's my y. So when we go and substitute that in now, we start with y equals mx plus c. My y value here is going to be replaced by the y value up here of 340. My m, okay, we just found my m and it's 0.07. So 0.07 multiplied by x. Now our x value is 5,500. And plus c. We don't know what that is because that's the one that we're trying to find. So now we've got to go through and solve. Okay, 0.07 times 5,500 gets me 385. The 340 stays the same on the left, and we've got plus c on the end. Okay, so we just simplified it before we start trying to solve. I'm going to go and take 385 from both sides. Okay, that will cancel out here. I'm left with c. 340 take 385. We're actually going to get a negative answer here of minus 45. That's our second component, which is the c up here. Okay, what we've now got is we've got enough information to go and write an equation. Y equals, my m is 0.07 x plus my c, which is actually a negative, so I'm just going to write take 45 there. Alright, so that's from start to finish, guys, drawing our line of best fit, finding our gradient, finding our y-intercept, and then finally putting it all into one here.